YouTube, what's going on? Shizzy Hollywood here with another episode of Shizzy Reacts, and today, instead of a song reaction or a movie scene reaction or whatever, it's going to be a full interview reaction with Phil Spencer. I'm realizing now that it's kind of screwed up for some reason. He was on Kind of Funny. Shout out to my boy Snowbike Mike, the homie. It's so cool to see him like have his own show and stuff, and it's so sick. Anyways, yeah, Phil Spencer was on and apparently was very honest and I don't want to say vulnerable, but very transparent is what I'm trying to say with the state of Xbox and stuff. So I want to see this. It's hard to forthcoming. There you go. It's hard to just this is one of those things where I want to focus on and I don't want to have it as background noise. So for me to just sit down and watch something for 42 minutes is basically impossible with my schedule. So we're just gonna stream it. So let's do that, and we'll put it on Shizzy Reacts. And then, like I said, we'll switch to Redfall and try it out, which will be interesting after watching this. Watch this theme song get me copyright claimed. That intro is so fire. Please, armrest. All right.
What the heck is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Kind of Funny XCast. Okay. Your home for all things Xbox here at Kind of Funny.
Also, for those that don't know, so obviously that's Phil Spencer, as you know. Then the homie Snowbike Mike. We got Paris Lily, who was actually on stage for a couple of things. And this guy, Gary Whitta, if you don't know, we've rated him a few times. He had some Twitch shows like Animal Talking, where he'd have interviews with people like Phil, Brie Larson, Selena Gomez, all kinds of shit. So it was like a talk show inside of Animal Crossing. He did one like that with Fall Guys, which was Talk Guys and stuff. But he wrote the Book of Eli, and he co-wrote Star Wars Rogue One.
Of course, I'm one of your hosts, Snowbike Mike, and today I am joined by both of my gaming dads and one very special guest. You see him in the middle.
How's the audio, by the way?
Or if you're listening, it's the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, joining the XCast today. Phil, we'll start with you. What up, homie?
Sausage party, true and real.
Truth be told,
it's good to meet. Thanks, Sam.
What's up, buddy? A couple of weeks. It'll be a good discussion today. I'm always happy to come on, talk to XCast. You guys do an amazing job talking to the community, keeping it real. So it's an honor to be on with you guys.
Good audio set today.
You have been on a number of Kind of Funny content, but this is the first time you have joined us with the XCast here with the Green Team. So we appreciate your time.
I just remembered I have the standing camera set up here too.
Two gaming dads. Of course, I'll go around the room. Paris Lily, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. And as you already said, thank you, Phil, for coming on this episode. Greg Miller, instead of going on your show, finally he is on the actual Xbox show for Kind of Funny. So I'm very excited and appreciative of that. Looking forward to the conversation.
Big deal. Gary Whitta, you have a green juvie today. You're feeling the green.
Yeah, this kiwi straw, not my favorite flavor, I don't think, but it was the only one you had in the fridge. You know, the price was right, so I grabbed one.
You love a free energy drink?
You know me, I don't care what it is. If it's free.
I'm happy you're back.
The energy drink, is it any good? Does anybody know?
Discussion to be had with you and the team. I see you got your book. Why don't you plug that book really quick?
No, I didn't bring this in to plug it. I just had a spare copy. I was going to give it to someone. But no, Gundog, we actually had a small change in the publishing date. Comes out August 1st. You can pre-order it right now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
I could use an energy drink today. I should have got an energy drink and or a Gatorade.
You're just bringing the book around now. I like that.
You don't want to
promote. Drinking for a while.
The book around. Yeah. All right, good for you. I like.
Did you know what happened? Is I'm gonna have a couple of beers and I'll leave. And she says, if you stay till 4, I could give you happy hour prices. So I was thinking, okay, might as well. And then I'm going to pay my bill. And the printer is out of, like, paper. And it's being a whole fucking thing. So I'm like, okay, by now I'm going to miss the bus. So I guess I'll stay another half hour. And then all the, like, 5 o'clock people are coming in. So it's a shit show. So it was just, like, one thing after the other. And so I ended up being there for like hours when I wanted to fucking leave super early. The older girls like energy drinks, gross. I really like that. I used to drink Rockstar all the time too,
of course,
but
this
now I
is
do
the
Monster.
Kind of Funny XCast we post each and every Thursday at 6 a.m. West Coast, Best Coast
time
on YouTube.com/Kind
But I guess I'll have to settle for
Podcast around the globe, and of course on roosterteeth.com. Don't forget we are now Epic Games partners, which means you can support the team in a brand new way. If you're buying games
I forgot to do the YouTube thing. Chat.
Look in Fortnite, Rocket League,
or I should say YouTube, not chat.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Kind of Funny if you like this type of shit.
Of course, We love to shout out those who support us over on Patreon to help keep the lights on here in the spare bedroom. If you're over on Patreon,
This new studio is so fire.
Watching live with multiple of our shows. We're not doing this episode live, but thank you for your support. And thank you to our Patreon producers for the month of May, Delaney Twining.
Buffy Gross too. Get out of here.
This week, the Kind of Funny XCast is sponsored by Honey and Rocket Money, but myself and the team will tell you all about that in just a little bit. Let's get to the show.
Look how good it looks.
With Phil Spencer.
The stream where they showed everything was so fire.
Phil, let's just jump right into it. And it's a tough way to start this episode. It's my birthday this week, and I didn't want to have to do it like this. But Phil, it's been a tough week in the Xbox
birthday month,
universe.
dude. It's his birthday
As
year.
you know, of course, the CMA kind of blocking our acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, and Redfall coming out to poor reviews at the launch. Let's start off at the top. Phil, let's talk about the CMA and, of course, this Activision Blizzard acquisition. How are you feeling about this? What should be the overall mindset for Xbox gamers when we look at this after months and months of conversation?
Yeah, we remain confident. Obviously, the news from the CMA, which for those not tracking all this, is the United Kingdom's regulatory board on acquisitions to block the acquisition. We'll be appealing that. That's our plan. We continue to work with the European Union. We'll continue to work with the FTC. I think there are like 14 jurisdictions all up. We're working on approval. I think we have 9 approvals so far. But the CMA decision was disappointing. I've been talking to that group for coming up on a year. They've defined a market of cloud gaming that, in my mind, doesn't really exist yet today. But they have a point of view that maybe we have a lead in a market that is just forming, and that this content could somehow prohibit others from competing in that market. But we'll appeal. We stay on it. The company remains very, very committed. We think Activision Blizzard King is not our strategy, but it is an accelerant for our strategy. So we're still heads down and working through regulatory.
Streamer butt on cam. How do you think I'm going to make money, Eternal?
Many of those gaming franchises over
there. Gotta show up the donkey.
I'm looking forward
That's
to
my
seeing
greatest
this
asset.
deal go through, and I'm glad
No
to hear
pun
that
intended.
you and the team are still hard at work at making this happen. It's been a long road. It's been a tough road to talk about it each and every single week, kind of falling apart. But
it's always the Brits, isn't it, Mike? We're always the
Yeah.
fly in the ointment. We just got to rain on
every
everyone's
pun is
parade.
intended. True.
It's a tough one, Gary. Of course, we got to move on to the next one. Phil, of course, Redfall has released from Arcane Austin, and it's been.
Speaking of puns and gaming, you just reminded me. No, we'll put Twitter over here just in case, because as you know, I follow many accounts. Let's just say that. Lincoln Park just tweeted this. Lincoln Park. And fucking somebody in Rune B's Discord was like, "This is a shiz type joke," and I was like, "It is. Thank you, appreciate it."
It's been a tough release.
You're a
week
dirty
for that,
boy. I
coming out
love
to
it.
Low reviews and a lot of disappointment from many fans. Can you talk about that? What is your thoughts right now as we head into the first week of this game being out?
Yeah, maybe I'll start. I'll hit Redfall, but I'll just say all up. There's nothing that's more difficult for me than disappointing the Xbox community. I've been a part of it for a long time. I obviously work on Xbox, head of the business, have a lot of friends, get a lot of feedback, and just to
Redfall's 2 fans are here. No, there's 3 of you. E's here too.
Be disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm upset with myself. I kind of revisit our process. I think back to the announcement of 60 frames per second, and then we weren't shipping 60 frames per second. That was kind of our punch in the chin, rightfully, a couple weeks ago. And then seeing the game come out, and the critical response was not what we wanted. And it's disappointing. And so kind of pick myself up. What can we learn? How can we get better? One thing I'll fight is kind of what went wrong. There's clearly quality and execution things that we can do. But one thing I won't do.
If I'm not mistaken, right, everybody's obviously pissed because it's 30 frames, not 60. Everybody says that the game is mid and that there's no cutscenes or whatever. Is the game mid because technical shit or the game itself? I know some people were saying that like vampires don't spawn, so it's too easy. Phil saw my gamer tag on a Eternals article and sent me a Redfall controller. The drip.
Is push against
The
creative
game isn't mid.
aspirations
Well, I mean, okay, but I know that you 3 people. Sorry, we just confirmed that we have 3 in chat that like this game. Everybody else,
of our teams. Then a lot of people
I'm
will
looking
say,
forward to trying it
hey,
after
you've
this.
got teams know how to do one kind of game. Just
Everything.
force them to go do the one kind of game that they have a proven track record for. And I'm just not a believer in that. Maybe that means I'll under-deliver for some of our fans out there. But when a team like Rare wants to do Sea of Thieves, when a team like Obsidian wants to do Grounded, when Tango wants to go do Hi-Fi, when everybody probably thought they were doing Evil Within 3, I want to give the teams the creative platform to go and push their ability, push their aspirations.
It isn't too easy like everyone
But
was
I
saying.
also
Watch me get
need to
fucking
have
destroyed
a
tonight.
great selection of games that are continue to come that surprise and delight our fans, and we under-delivered on that, and for that I
You
apologize.
spawn one, you make one of them angry, so like a witch?
Not what I expect, not what I want. But you know, it's ours to deliver.
You got rocked earlier?
So
Damn.
following up on that, Phil. So again,
You guys are
I
bad
appreciate
confirmed?
the transparency on that, but there is a second component to this. And
Oh yeah, also
as
I
you
heard that Paris went off on Phil. Like apparently he was just like digging into him, which nobody expected.
right now, I talk to a lot of people in the Xbox community because I want to understand, what people are excited about, what they're frustrated about, things like that. So kind of sticking on this conversation about Redfall, but it's kind of a bigger general question as well. And I kind of want to read directly from this so I make sure I get it crystal clear. So what goes into the decision to delay a game when you launch it feature incomplete, or there's a bunch of technical issues? Obviously, we've seen recent examples around the industry. Redfall and Halo Infinite are 2 that stick out in my mind for Xbox. We obviously have seen the review scores.
Dragon.
We've had the opinion that the game should be delayed.
Oh, also I should mention, by the way, on Shizzy Reacts, if you're watching, I am an Xbox player. Before people are just like thinking that I'm just watching Phil get roasted. I'm an Xbox player mostly, so I'm genuinely interested. I don't want to see Xbox and Phil get shit on.
We know every developer wants to ship the best game that they possibly can, but from your level,
that video wall.
What's the balance there on when to ship a game that may be feature incomplete or have some technical issues, or just simply give it more time?
Destiny 2 raised prices?
Well,
on what?
I think those are, and I'm happy to go very deep on this.
I hope we're good enough to backpack you.
If I think about a team's execution on a game, we had a creative vision, and did we realize that vision through the game that we created? That's not a delay question if the answer is no. Like, you can't take something that you started on. This isn't a Redfall specific conversation,
right.
But we will build games that review in the high 80s, and we will build games that review in the 60s. I mean, it's just kind of part of being in game publishing. And if you're afraid of that, then you shouldn't be in the entertainment business. You shouldn't be in the games business. That said, every time we deliver something below our own internal expectations that surprises us, we should check our process.
That's so weird to me, like, that surprises us, right? Like, that means that they looked at Redfall and they were like, yeah, this is good to go. And then everybody else except you 3 is like, this fucking sucks.
On Redfall, and there are quality issues, and we're working on those. But I think there's a fundamental piece of feedback that we get, that the game isn't realizing the creative vision that it had for its players. That doesn't feel like a, hey, just delay it. That feels like the game had a goal to do one thing, and when players are actually playing, they're not feeling that thing. They're not feeling the creative execution of the team. When a game needs to be delayed, what we did with Halo, we did with Starfield, we did with Redfall, because the production timeline is saying we have this vision and our production timelines don't get us to the completion of that vision, we do delay games. We do that. Learning about the quality,
I wonder, you know how like literally every single game gets delayed? I wonder if some are literally only done to try to generate hype. if it's like a month, you know, because obviously if it's like 6 months, you risk everyone like forgetting about your game and not caring. But I wonder if anybody's ever done like we need to make them kind of like fiend for it a bit. So let's delay it like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, just so that they're like, just like it's like video game edging. Like you were that close, but no, let's just slow it down.
Are clearly, I've seen them. I know there are bugs in Redfall that's launching, but when I
No
look
wonder.
at like the crash rates on the game, because we get all the telemetry of everything that's happened, it's not out of proportion for a game that has just launched. It's kind of in the pocket of what we would expect. That's not to deny any of the animation, streaming of texture bugs, the AI bugs that we've seen. We will go work on those. But when I look at the review,
Redfall's got that point of no return aspect, and part of me wonders if they didn't have one area and then added the second area after it was delayed for so long. Okay. So it has a point of no return, but then there's like more, is what you mean? Like it's not like before the last mission, it's like before the first half? Literally splitting, what the fuck?
review scores of this game, it's did we have enough of creative differentiation in our core idea, and did we realize that creative ambition? I'm a huge supporter of Arcane Austin. Their track record is
Yeah, I meant to
awesome. I love a lot of the great
play it,
games
have
that
played
they've
it by now,
built.
but obviously
This
Star
is
Wars
one
took
where the
me
team didn't hit
longer
their own
because I wanted to
internal
take my time and
goals when
explore.
it launched. I think it's maybe a little simplistic to just say, hey, if you would have just delayed it 3 months, the core creative of the game would have delivered on something that was different than what it was. So I look at them in different camps. If there's
And
a
the first
production
area is
timeline issue, we've been
smoother and
open
more
to delaying.
polished.
If we just have more bugs than we
Maybe.
should have at the end of a game, we're open to delaying. At some point, we have to have a creative vision and put the game out, and reviewers and players will tell us what they think.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, of course. Please, Gary.
Absolutely.
So I have just a couple of small observations and then a question. First of all, I want to give Phil props for coming on here
Give him
today
props, Gary.
and talk just for a minute about why I admire Phil, because he and I have been here before. Back in 2020 during the pandemic when I was doing Animal Talking, Phil, you'll remember this. Phil was booked to come on my dumb Animal Crossing talk show, and then after he was booked, the news came that Halo Infinite was going to be delayed and would not ship with the Xbox Series X and S. And it was you'll remember it was a big deal. There was a lot of wailing,
that was a
gnashing
shit
of
show.
teeth, and people rending their garments. And I was fully prepared for the other shoe to drop. I was waiting for a call from Xbox PR from Jeff, your friend of mine, Jeff, over in Xbox PR, to say Phil's not going to be able to come on the show live because it's a big mess right now. We don't want to put him in the firing line for that. And Jeff called, and I thought, here it is. Here comes the other shoe. And he was like, Phil just wants to know, like, when's the tech rehearsal? Like, it's going ahead. And he came on a live talk show and took a bunch of tough questions on a really tough subject and took it on the chin. And I've always admired him for that, for not. It would have been very easy for him to pull out, and he didn't. He came on and he's doing it again now. And I salute Phil for that.
Phil's the
man.
man.
Other point I want to make is that every time there may be some Sony platform warriors out there right now crowing about the fact that Redfall has underperformed. Just want to point this out as a creative. Every time somebody takes a big bet, especially a big AAA bet on an original idea, a new IP, and it fails, everybody suffers. It's bad for everybody because it makes it that much harder for the Phils and the Jim Ryans of the world, the big, the creative, the decision makers, to take a chance on them. Oh, but the last time we did that, it didn't work. Maybe let's just make a sequel to the next thing, or let the algorithm tell us what to do.
That's fair.
So every time somebody takes a risk on something new, and especially if it involves something different in game design, let's try something that has been done before and it doesn't work, it hurts everybody. So I just want everyone to be clear, this sucks for everybody. And
I guess that makes sense, right? Because like on PlayStation,
film and television, it's why
like
so
let's
much
make a vampire game, they'd be like
so
Redfall just fucking
generic
bombed.
and derivative and formulaic because everyone's afraid to take a risk. And when something new succeeds, it's good for everyone. When something
I'm gonna stand for a bit.
new and original fails,
My back's
it's bad for everyone.
kind of
So I just
shot
acknowledge
today.
that this is like a big shit sandwich, and we all have to take a bite, including the Sony people, including everybody. Specifically with the, sorry, this is a long time.
Oh yeah, we have the big standing camera on this scene, by the way.
Redfall. When you say that you're disappointed
Old
in the
age ass.
reaction, that
That's what
to
happens
me
when you're big and have all these
suggests
fucking
that the
muscles to
reaction was
carry
something
around, you know what I mean?
different than what you were expecting, what you were hoping for. But I know that when these big AAA games, they get subjected to all kinds of internal testing. Focus groups come in. There are third-party companies that will come in and even write like mock reviews or come like hit detection out that will tell you, here's what you can expect the press to make of your game. So usually you've got a sense of what the game is going to, how it's going to be received before
Remember a little while ago when Stream Deck had this update where everything wait, how the fuck? Where every mic source or whatever, instead of wait, why did that not work? Huh? Okay, so basically you could put like mute or unmute, right? So when I stand, it mutes the Yeti, unmutes the headset, and then they did an update where it added the ability to toggle, but it made everything change to toggle by default, and it fucked up all my multi-actions. But I fixed everything.
But now, why is it not muting the fucking Yeti? Now I have like an echo. Huh? Oh. Because I'm fucking dumb.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second. Live technical difficulties, bruh. Yeah, no, I think I'm just a fucking idiot. I put unmute instead of mute.
Okay, so now we have the Yeti.
And now we have the headset. It's okay, don't worry about it, Chad. I'm a fucking genius, dog. But yeah, I just, when I changed the 7,000 buttons that got broken, I guess that one I screwed up.
For its release, so you can be prepared for it. So Phil, when you say you're
they
disappointed, does that
went from
mean
mute,
that
unmute,
you
to
thought the
also
game was
toggle
going to
mute,
be
and
better received?
everything
or
went to
did
toggle.
Was it in line with
So all my
expectations?
advanced
How
shit got
surprised were
broken.
you by the reaction, or how, like, internally,
Like all
how
my
much
standing
I don't know,
scenes
I
and
feel like this
whatever.
one, people
It was
like,
annoying.
we know the game it has problems. Like, to what extent was this different from what you expected? And also, and sorry, I know I've been talking a long time. And the second part of that is, when a game is released now, it's not like the old days when a cartridge was shipped in a box and the release of the game was the end of the game's like development cycle. Now it's just the 1.0 release is just a point on the roadmap. To what extent, given that what we're talking about here is not just 30
I hate that,
frames,
by the way.
but design issues,
I still
things
hate
that may
that.
be more conceptual, to what extent do you think,
Like,
or are you committed to?
I get that shit gets updated and whatever, and again, because they're like, we just gotta get the game out, we can fix it after. I hate that fucking mentality. And obviously, you know, there's always gonna be bugs, whatever. I have mixed feelings about it. I guess just because it was streaming and all that, and also I just like, I like to finish one thing and start the next. That's why we only started Redfall after I finished Star Wars. Like, I need to finish the thing before I move on to thing 2. So for games, it's just like, bro, I want to stream the game for 3 days, beat the game, and it's done. And then it's always like the DLC is in a fucking year when I don't remember how to play the game, and now I got to go back to the game. I just like to roll credits, it's done, boom, next thing. There's a degree to it, which is necessary, but I don't think a game should ship without core feature. Yeah, I don't like the just let it be broken mentality, but it's nice if I do have a hiccup to be like, well, that can be patched. Yeah, no, but I mean, like, little patches and stuff is one thing, but like this, watching like 4 months, it'll be like 60 FPS, and it'll be like, well, I don't care because I beat the game 4 months ago, like that type of shit, you know?
Continuing to work
Obviously,
on the game and getting it,
patches and stuff is
maybe a year
great,
down the
but
road, Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky. We've seen these redemptive stories in the past. To what extent do you hold out hope that you can still get the game closer to where you wanted it to be at launch? I know that was a lot.
No, well, at first I thought your words about creative ambition of teams, you especially, I mean, you've lived this, you've done
6
this.
months post-release before is actually good. I hate that
very
shit.
well said, and
or
and
even if they're
very
fast.
spot
I remember
on. So thank you for
Yakuza
that.
6
That's why I
got
love your voice
60
in this community,
FPS
because you've created
thing literally like
you've
2 days after I
kind of ups,
got all
and
the
as anybody
achievements.
in the industry, we've all seen downs. And on the score, yeah, we do mock reviews for every game that we launch, and this is like double digits lower than we thought we would be with this game went through our mock reviews. And that's what's one of the disappointing things. Like, we would never strive to launch a game that we thought was going to review in the low 60s. It's not part of our goals. If you look at our review scores over the last year, it's not a defense at all. If you look at the review scores over the last year, I think the teams have done a better job in upping the level of quality of the games that we've shipped. Some of those games first shipped on PlayStation, but still, when I go through the list of the games, you still have to build a game, you still have to ship a game.
I mean, Halo fucking ruled, Forza ruled. I still love Halo Infinite. We're playing Halo on Wednesday, by the way. There's a new update.
But that's not on anybody.
We'll play that before we start Zelda on Friday.
We have to own that. In terms of our commitment to the game, absolutely. The team at Arcane is on taking the near term.
And then tomorrow and Tuesday will probably be Star Wars mop up. We'll see.
We have a good timeline for that. We're committed to getting that done, and we're going to continue to work the game. I think we've shown a commitment to games like Sea of Thieves and like Grounded to continue to go and build games. But I also know that these games are $70, and I'm not gonna I'm gonna take full responsibility for launching a game that needs to be great. I think what I have with the Xbox community, what I am a part of, is a team. There's still questions that pop every so often of how committed is the company to this.
What the fuck? I'm sure you know that money has been tight. Will one of my clients give me $70 for Tears of the Kingdom? That's awesome. How did that even come up? That's fucking awesome. Shout out to your client, dude. That's amazing. Hell yeah. Yeah, exactly. Wholesome. This is like one of the times where it's wholesome and it's not completely fucking cringe because of it. Blows too that they even have to take mock reviews into consideration. That I guess makes sense though. I wonder how that works though. Do you get like testers that aren't involved in the making of the game to play? Like, do they tell me come and work 3 full days, beat the game start to finish, and tell us what you think? And then if I say it's a 70, they're like, why? I wonder. I wonder.
Category. When are we just going to
I want to
push
be a mock
Xbox out of the
reviewer.
market? There's a lot of Twitter firing of Phil right
Yeah.
now, which is fine. I'm way overpaid for the role I have anyway, so like I get that's my responsibility. But we will remain committed to the game and the players as long as the
That's
players
awesome,
want to go
Sam.
play games.
Enjoy the
And
game, buddy.
that's my commitment to the community. I'm kind of at a low point right now in terms of my delivery on that commitment to the community. But it very much stays. I want to support the team. I want to support the creative ambitions of the teams, and I want to support the players. And we let a lot of people down this week with the launch of the game, but we will continue to strive on. You have to, right? That's what creative is about.
No, you absolutely do, and to kind of start transitioning this
They asked
into
if there was
hopefully
anything
more
I
happy
wanted I
news,
couldn't
but
afford
I
and
do
just
want
whipped
to
out
address
$70. Damn.
something around that. Obviously,
She said you
today
wanted a
you
car.
announced the Xbox Game Showcase, which will be happening this June.
Man, I've been
And
looking at
obviously
this
there's going to be a
Lambo, but
lot
it's
of new
just
reveals and surprises that come out of that, which is great. But I am going to bring it back again to another common theme that I do hear through the community, and I've actually said this to you in the past, but it's about communication coming from Xbox. I do feel back in 2021, you did a fantastic job with communication, which arguably has been the best year during this current generation of Xbox. Obviously, we know that 2022 was a light year for Xbox as far as releasing titles. Now, last year, during the showcase, you had the 12-month plan. You didn't necessarily deliver on all the games coming
No, we
within
didn't
those
deliver.
12
Not
months.
necessarily. We didn't deliver.
Absolutely. So my point of bringing that up is this, talking about some of the lessons learned that come out of that. And obviously, even with not every game making the 12 months, going back to, again, game development, things happen. Things aren't always going to come on
What's up,
time.
Steel
But
Vanguard?
as
Welcome
we go
back.
into this showcase, one of the common themes
Man,
that I
y'all are
hear
toxic,
is
chat.
I don't know enough about things that you've announced in the past, like even more specifically going back to 2020. And I'll just run down a quick list of it. Vowed, Perfect Dark, Everwild, which is something we really don't know that much about. Fable, State of Decay 3, Contraband. Obviously, we've seen a little more in Hellblade 2. We have studios like In Exile and Compulsion Games that we know are working on things, but we haven't seen any real updates on that. So I titled all my questions Balance and Communication, because even in this, it's like, what is that balance on when you show something that is going to be years down the road, and kind of that cadence of providing updates.
What if
along the
Everwild
way.
just
And
shadow drops at
obviously, as we go
E3?
into
Well,
this
first,
showcase,
for that to
not
happen,
that you need to reveal anything
E3 needs to
specific
happen.
here, but
So,
what were some of those lessons learned from last year's showcase that you'll bring into this one?
Yeah, and you might try to get me on positive. I'm not in positive mode this week, so I'll apologize for staying in kind of cranky mode. But in terms of lessons learned, and I'll even go back to the Redfall
Xbox showcase
videos
takes
on
too long to type. No, you
IGN
just
of
confirmed you're a
showing
fake gamer. It's
videos of the
okay.
game running at 60 on
Reviewer,
PC,
by the way.
At the point knowing that the game was going to run
Journalist,
30
by the
frames
way.
per second at launch on console. Like, we have to be transparent about what we're showing, that what we're showing is representative of what our console customer, our most committed customer to our brand, financially committed, what they're going to see, what they're going to play, and that transparency just has to get better. And I'm not pointing at anybody but myself, right? I guess at At some point, I will have enough.
This is a depressing ass
knocks against me
podcast,
that
dude. It makes sense, but
it's somebody
goddamn.
else here. But that I think it's transparency in what we're building, what our aspiration is for the game, what it's going to look like, what the features are. And it drives me crazy when we self-inflicted
Like it
wounds
sure
of
says,
kind of
chat,
putting
Ming
things out
Ryo.
there of
You know what I mean?
communication that's confusing or misleading about what the actual end product is going to be. So you can try to take me to positive space. I'm just not in that headspace right now. That said, when I go and I look at Showcase, and I'm not going to try to oversell Showcase here, because if I were on the other side of watching this, it's like, hey, after Redfall, I'm going to put my hands on the controller, and that's what's going to take to kind of prove to me. But that's not what Showcase is. So um, I'm very enthusiastic about Showcase. We're going to announce some things that people haven't seen, some new games. We're going to give updates to some of the things that were on your list. The other thing that gets me really excited is when I look forward over the next quarters, which has always been my focus.
When,
of how do we
when
get
was it again? It's like the week that like E3 would happen, right? Xbox Showcase 2023. June 11th. Yeah, I still think I'm gonna try to take the second week of June as like a vacation week. Because I feel like if anybody does anything E3-ish, it'll be that week, which is usually when E3 would be. As one important showcase we need the date for, the only one that matters. I assume you're going to say Wholesome Direct. Wholesome Direct.
game out every quarter at quality.
True.
That things
Big
are
facts.
lining up finally after some of the slowdown through COVID. I'm tired of talking about that. But I can now see that we've got games coming every quarter that I think will surprise and delight our customers. We still have to deliver on the creative. We still have to deliver on the technical. Not every game we ship is for everybody. We know that. Like, I don't want to build. I'm not trying to
That's the
build
beauty of the
the
games,
one
though,
game to
chat.
rule them all.
There's
We will
something
have
for
different
everyone.
creative takes and different. And
like
we
Eternal
have a
can play
very
Cozy
diverse
Grove, and I can
portfolio
play
when you
good
think about
games.
the stuff that Microsoft Game Studios builds. But I like that. I think for what we're trying to do as Xbox, which isn't to mimic any of the other platforms out there, it's create our own brand and identity. The diversity of what we build, hopefully, will end up being a strength. But we have to do it at quality. We have to do it on time, and we have to show people what they're actually going to see. We have
Wait,
to show
what?
gameplay.
Let's play odds right now. High or low? Shiz regrets taking the week off because nothing is interesting. To be fair, that's happened like the past 2 years where I stream E3 and I stream like 11 hours a day, and there's like 2 games that look good and the rest is dog shit. And I'm like, wow, that was not worth it. Honestly, I don't. I'm. What I might do is, I think last year it was the first. Yeah, Wholesome Direct, which is funny because usually I'm like wholesome games or whatever. I think the wholesome games I don't mind. It's more the people that play them, right? That, as you know, are always on Twitter. Like, look how wholesome I am. I'm actually the most wholesome. Doesn't this feel genuine and real when I have to tell you every single day how wholesome I am? Aren't I just the sweetest? Oh, the uwu people. Oh God, I just want to fucking. Anyways, Wholesome Direct slap. Some might say it do be. But that being said, last year, for the first time ever, what I did was when I took a week vacation from the warehouse, I also took a week off of streaming, and I took like an actual week to recharge my batteries, and it was amazing. So I might do that again this year. But what I might just do is like the day that the Xbox showcase is, like I'll stream that, but then I'll chill. I'll see how I feel right now. How will people know I'm wholesome without telling them? Do pit crews every day. 4 pit crews on Twitter every day. And then they'll know. And make sure to restart Stardew Valley every second week.
Play, and I think I'm kind of beyond.
Post yourself on r/wholesome.
that. Like, we've got to put great games in the hands of our players.
And then you got hit by a car and we're stuck at home for 3+
If
months.
I could follow up on that, and I apologize.
Yeah, that was the thing, huh?
Conversation, but I make sure I want to follow up on the point of everything that you just said. And,
yeah, at least I
I'll
got a
take
cool
it from
tattoo out of it.
Standpoint. I've been a big believer in what Xbox has been building since about 2016, right? Xbox Play Anywhere, Game Pass, what you're doing with the Series X and S, just the cloud initiative, everything. I love all.
There's a new Stardew Valley-like game in development, but every time you start the game, one of the citizens is a murderer. So it's like a farming sim type thing, but you also got to find out who's going to clap people. Become me and everyone will know you're wholesome. I'm the most wholesome being. It's true. You know what? And you're the only one that could say that without it being cringe. True. Chat, don't tell E, but Lightspeed tells me behind closed doors how abusive she is. It's terrible. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Let's continue.
Services and the marketing message that you present to the community. But to your point, and for me personally, I have Game Pass. My kids play it. We all love it. But you even mentioned delivering quality experiences every quarter, things like that. That's the sentiment that we get from the community right now.
Should be saying grown-up words on the sneak?
I even have.
She's only an
18-year-old
adult.
I think we've been talking about them ad nauseum.
Hey, make like that Xbox game, and you're grounded.
It's like, when are we going to get to that point of actually delivering these experiences? Like
She's 19. Stop.
20-something studios. Forget Activision.
You were like 12 when I met your mom.
Studios, what it is today. There's more than enough studios and titles.
Wait, I think that's true.
We're all anticipating, and I think that is the common frustration that I see out there from people. That it's like, we're tired of hearing wait till next year, and I know you know that, but
I know,
it's like,
I know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
We old. That's true. Wait, so number 3 is like 10, right? And so she was like 3. What fucking Christ, dude? She was in diapers when Turtle and I met, and now she's drifting Lambos. Time flies.
this year started out well.
Yeah, yes,
Number 2 turns 16 later this month.
Received well. The team did a really good job, I thought, with the messaging around to your point, around setting expectation.
Shizzy reacts to how old he is.
I'm rooting for the home team here.
That's a thumbnail.
I'll say over-delivering on expectations of that show versus what it was. I think the drop of Hi-Fi to say, hey, if you've
Hi-Fi
Game Pass,
did well. It didn't do it for me, but everyone loved that shit.
Hi-Fi. Something we don't talk a lot about, that same month, Age 2 on console shipped. Truth be told, more people are playing a bunch of people are playing Hi-Fi and Age 2, but Age 2 actually has more players right now. But all the fanfare goes to the highly rated kind of new Hi-Fi. Get that.
That's fair.
I know the review scores on Minecraft.
Was the shadow drop that made it all the better? Yeah.
Minecraft, I think, always reviews somewhere kind of different than the top. But if I look at the reaction, I think we've already had.
What's up, Matto? How you doing?
Playing. I saw its launch week. It was the #1 retail game on the Switch in Japan.
Matto, you were on vacation, right?
Where Microsoft sits,
am I imagining things?
In terms of sales? So I feel like momentum is building, and then something like Redfall happens, and Xbox,
shadow drops rule. I love shadow drops, and I love when it would happen during E3. Rest in peace. But there was something just so exciting about, especially once I started streaming E3. It was so sick to be watching it with you guys, and then it's like out now, and then you see everybody in chat losing their minds, and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta install this so I could stream it and whatever. I'm on a bank holiday, but that's everyone in the UK, so I don't feel special. Oh, okay. Because I remember I replied to your email and got the automated, like, leave me alone. And I was like, all right, enjoy your time, dude.
Should demand a lot from us as a team, where we sit inside of Microsoft. We've got the resources to do better. 2022 was, as you said, a very light year.
It was actually kind of rude, chat. It said, like, I'm out of the office this week. Anybody except for Shiz can reach me. And I was like, well, okay. I thought we were cool.
What you said, I might have other words for it. And then 2023, we started well, and this was a knockback. But it's our job to go and deliver on the next games. I can only look forward, right? I can sit here and wallow in my own frustration, but all I can do is say I'm going to do better tomorrow than I did yesterday, and continue to support the teams and continue to grow. But yeah,
and confirm it's totally true.
It is ours to prove that. I can say now, and everybody can already stop. I don't want to hear what Phil has to say about the future, and I kind of fully respect that point of view.
I don't know why, but Sam just missing the whole Bobby lore. Just what the fuck is that? Is so funny to me. That's Bobby from Sweet Tooth. I haven't even seen this show, but Lightspeed's obsessed with it, and Bobby is cute as hell. Bobby? So we have a Bobby emote.
That we've got Starfield coming, we've got Forza coming, we've got Hellblade coming. Like, we've got collections of games. I'm seeing very good.
Oh yeah, Hellblade and stuff that exists.
We're in, like, I can see it. But
Should I replay
until
the first
you
one?
have a controller in your hand
No,
and you're
never mind.
smiling from playing our games, none of my words should matter.
Shout out to Honey for sponsoring this episode. Honey is the easy
Probably
way
just
to
sucks.
save when
Look at this
shopping on
fucking
your iPhone
studio.
or computer.
Matto, I have an
Honey,
idea.
manual
I got like
search for
17
coupon
bucks.
codes is a thing of the past.
We
And
pool our
all
money
know
together and we
there's
get a
nothing
studio like
better
this.
than the feeling of saving money. Honey's the free shopping
Right? Like
tool that
half of
scours
it's a
the
green
internet for
screen,
promo
the other
codes
half you have
and
your
applies the best
VTuber.
one finds to your cart. Here's how it works. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite
I
sites.
loved it, but I
When
don't want you to
check
hate
out,
it
the
again.
Honey
Fair.
button appears, and all you have to do is click apply coupons. You wait
Also,
a
I'm
few
not
seconds,
fast forwarding the
and
ad.
Dances
Get your money,
will
kind of
search for
funny.
coupons it can find for
Lord,
the
when it's
site,
like
and
21
if yours
bucks,
finds a
awesome.
working coupon,
It's
you'll
done. It's
watch
set,
the
chat. We got a
prices
new
drop.
studio on the
We
way.
here at Kind of Funny have been using Honey for years, and it has literally saved us thousands on tech, costumes, food, you name it. Honestly, I just love how easy it is to set, forget.
But yeah, I hope you enjoyed your
Honey
time off,
doesn't just
Matto.
work on desktops,
And
it also works
yeah, I
on
hope you're doing well,
iPhone.
buddy.
You just activate it on Safari on your phone, save on the go. And if you don't already have
Also,
Honey,
Honey is
you'll be
amazing.
straight up missing out. By getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this
Can
show. You
confirm
get
that
these
Honey
on
is
for
sick.
free at joinhoney.com/kindafunny. That's joinhoney.com/kindafunny. Shout out to Rocket Money for sponsoring this episode.
I love
We
the
all
psst
love
with the
gobbling
ad read. That's
content,
awesome.
and we have an understanding of what subscriptions we use. Or do we? Do you know?
Dude, I was
how
watching
much
some
most
live
subscriptions
Bad
really
Omens
cost?
videos.
Most
And
Americans think
Concrete
they spend
Jungle,
around
when he goes from
$80
like
a month
singing the
on
nice clean
subscriptions, when
highs
the
to the
actual
fucking, and
total
I'm the
is closer
fucking
to
king.
$200. That's right.
It does that
You,
fucking psst, and it's
you
fucking
out there,
awesome.
You could be wasting hundreds of
I got
dollars
$1 in
each
Canada,
month on
y'all be
subscriptions you
millionaires?
don't even
Y'all live
know
to be
about.
yeah.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels
True
your
and real.
unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending and it helps you lower
This sounds
your
super dope.
bills, all
You got
in
10
one
cents. Yo,
place.
wait, so
Rocket Money
does anybody
has
got a
saved some of us
calculator?
here at Kind of Funny a ton of money, and it can help.
Remember when your
you
teacher
too.
said that you
Stop
would never
throwing
have a
away
calculator in your
money.
pocket?
Cancel
Get
unwanted
fucked, Miss
subscriptions
Idiot.
and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. That's rocketmoney.com.
I don't know how to handle how badly you botched y'all's.
rocketmoney.com/kindafunny.
It's
Paris was just talking
it's because
about
I
one-
read it as I didn't see the apostrophe D because I read too fast. So I thought you said in Canada y'all be millionaires, and then I was like, but you know me, you know damn well I'm broke. And then I tried to correct it, and what happened is my brain kind of had a blue screen. Honestly, look at Rocket Money. I wonder how people don't know what subscriptions they have. They get charged for them every month. Yeah, but it happens sometimes. Like for me, I only have a couple of subscriptions, but even at that, I've had it happen where I had a free trial of something, and I was pretty sure that I canceled it because I even put reminders on my phone like cancel Paramount Plus or whatever. And I remember I checked my credit card one day and I was just like, whoa, oh. I had fucking, I think it was Paramount Plus for like 3 months. I'm like, you idiot. But it happens, you know? Or I remember, even worse than that, I realized a year and a half, I think, after breaking up with my ex that I was getting charged for Netflix. And I'm like, I haven't used it since I was with her. Fuck. In fairness, I had a Netflix sub coming out of my account for like years. I just thought it was the way the months rolled over that it showed up twice. Oh no.
have you learned? And I want to go back to
Man.
that in the case of Redfall, even just as a case study for things like this when they happen in general. Because Redfall wasn't even the only game to stumble out of the gate this week. Look at the PC version of Jedi Survivor. What a mess. Unacceptable that that game shipped in the state
Sam,
that
you're
it
a sub,
did.
so
And
you
they
should
must
be
have
able to
known.
drop
It was,
a
oh,
link.
geez, the game has
I
bugs.
think.
No,
Try.
you knew, and you shipped it anyway.
Try, Sam.
So EA Respawn, for even on a massive title like that, it's going to be a Game of the Year contender. We all know that, but like the PC version was unacceptable. My understanding is the PlayStation version's a bit of a mess as well. So we're still seeing this stuff happening.
Sorry, I will say that as much as I've been talking over everything I've been hearing, but it was Jedi
Go
Survivor.
back to that in the case of
I wasn't
Redfall,
sure what
even
game you
just as a
said.
case study for things like this when they happen in general. Because Redfall wasn't even the only game to stumble out of the gate this week. Look at the PC version of Jedi Survivor. What a mess. Unacceptable
Dude.
that that game shipped.
Fucking Ray, as in like Ray Narvaez Jr., put his stream of Redfall on YouTube, and all the comments are like Redfall is one of the games of all time. But one of my favorite ones was Redfall is definitely in the top 10 games released May 2nd, 2023. And I'm like, bro, it's so savage. Terrible.
Look at the PC version of Jedi Survivor. What a mess. unacceptable that
But I
that
want
game
that mic.
shipped in the state that it was. And they must have known. It was like, oh, geez, the game has bugs. No, you knew, and you shipped it anyway. So EA, Respawn, for even on a massive title like that, it's going to be a Game of the Year contender. We all know that. But like the PC version was unacceptable. My understanding is the PlayStation version's a bit of a mess as well. So we're still seeing this stuff happening on the regular. Just in general, when things, I'm fascinated, as you might know, I'm fascinated by the subject of failure because I've experienced a lot of it in my own career and in my personal life as well. And I think about it a lot. The number one quote that I stole from a person much smarter than me, I talk about it all the time when I talk about writing at creative seminars and things like that, is failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. But that's only true if you can get past feeling sorry for yourself when something fails and sift through the rubble and start figuring out, well, what can we learn? What can we learn from this failure? What can we take from this? What is teachable? And so I wanted to ask Phil, both in general and in the case of Redfall, I know you said you were going to work towards kind of turning the game around, but like, do you have a formal process? And what does it look like in the case of Redfall when something doesn't meet expectations? Is it something you get into right away, or do you wait for the dust to settle? What is the post-mortem process? What is the what went wrong, and how do we prevent this from happening again process look like at Xbox?
That's so toxic. My friend is a game tester, and I can't wait for the game he's working on to come out so I can bully him if it's a broken mess. That is so fucking funny to me. That's so toxic.
Yeah, it's a great point, and I think I love your quote, Gary. I might lift that from you. People don't have to care about this, but I'll talk about it. When we acquire studios, there's games that are in development when we acquire a studio, and then there's things that are either really early in development or not even conceived yet. And I think we need to improve on engaging in games that are midway through production when they become part of Xbox. I do think there's a different expectation.
Yeah,
for a
Redfall
game
was
and
very
even a
mid,
team.
Matto. It came out to a lot of like 60s and stuff like that. People just saying that it's not great, and people were already pissed before it came out because a week or two before launch, it was announced that it was only going to be running 30 FPS instead of 60, after being promised it was 60. So people were already upset, and then it came out, and everybody just thinks that it's mid. And so it's one thing if you have Game Pass and you could like. For me, I'm just like, whatever, I'll try it, and if it's good, awesome. If it's not, whatever. But if you're spending $70 US on a game for it to be mid, obviously you're going to be annoyed. And just in general, obviously it's just another Xbox game that didn't meet expectations and is mid, and downloaded it to give it a go. Yeah, I'm going to finally check it out after this interview. Because I was just taking my time with Star Wars, because Star Wars is one of those games where I was like, I'm not rushing this. We're taking our time. I'm exploring. It takes me as long as it takes. I don't give a shit. Yeah, I know that you guys had a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to trying it out with you guys. And I'm curious though if a lot of reviews are tainted by a 30 FPS prejudice. I would assume that it must, right? Because you're already going in with a sour taste in your mouth. I feel like you're less forgiving if that's the case.
When you've been third party and all of a sudden you become part of first party, there's a different expectation in terms of how you're going to perform on our console. I think there's a different competitive set when people look at what this game is and the other games that they're going to say, hey, I want this game to feel as competitive as this other game on another console platform in our case. And we didn't do a good job early on in engaging with Arcane Austin to really help them understand what it meant to be part of Xbox and part of first party, and use some of our internal resources to help them and kind of move along that journey even faster. So we kind of left them to go work on the game. They're a very talented team. I love that team, and I still do, and I will totally bet on them to do another great game. But when like Matt Booty and Jamie Leaders, Renan Zenimax, and I sit down, I think we could engage earlier with our different studios. And I do think there's a difference when we come in when the creative's already set on a game. That's not washing our hands of any of the creative. Every game we ship from our teams is an Xbox game. And so it's a full responsibility for it. But thinking about how our internal processes of dev assistance, even some of our internal ATG resources, what's the Advanced Technology Group, and how those work with our internal teams. I think we can do a better job with our internal teams. We did a better job with
Bleeding Edge again?
Nobody should believe it until they're playing the game. But that game was earlier on in production, and it was easier for us to kind of swarm a bunch of people to go and kind of help
Overwatch kind of
technology on our platform and ensure that we're going to ship a quality experience there. And we should have been there for Harvey and the team earlier.
I think Left 4 Dead Well Fun is a mid-game overall. Bruh, did you play it like at launch? Are you saying that in 2023 or like back in the day? Because now it's dated, but it's still fun. But back in the day, that was the shit. That's one of the reasons I got an Xbox 360. It was Left 4 Dead and Halo. I played them with my buddies, and I was like, all right, I'm selling my Wii, and I'm putting the money towards an Xbox. Back in the day, it was goated, but it hasn't aged well. It's 20 fucking years old, bruh. And I still think it's fun as hell. It's just, yeah, it's dated. I really wish that World War Z got more love than it did, because honestly, it's like better Left 4 Dead, because it's better tech. That game is fucking crazy. And Back 4 Blood, had they fucking balanced it properly, that would have been a banger as well. But they did the alpha, it was impossible. They did the beta, it was doable and it was fun. And then the 1.0 came out and it was back to impossible and it fucking sucked. It is what it is.
I think that's on us. And then through the process,
the audio is deafening. You have to put it at like 2%.
Studios that have done some really great work on Unreal over the years.
Back 4 Blood 2 Impossible, it's fucking annoying.
In that, when they had certain issues that they were working through, which any team will, it's nothing to do with the specific engine, but we have a lot of experience, and we needed to get on that earlier with the team, and we didn't do that. And that's not an excuse. You asked just to kind of diagnose. So when the 60 frames per second issue came up, we were definitely diving in. We had people from the Coalition and people from Rare and stuff looking, both teams that have done some really great work with Unreal to help us build a 60 FPS plan. But obviously that was a plan that had to be in place last fall in order for us to really be in a position to have it at launch. And I take that as learning, as painful as it is. But as you said, it's part of getting to success are those learnings and that diagnosis. There's a bunch of other stuff I could go into, but then we end up with kind of dev doc, which I'm happy to do.
They spoke about the acquisition at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, we don't have much time with you, so I'm going to go around the table, give everybody
I
one
blame
final
Valve for my
Phil.
tinnitus.
I'm going to rattle off a couple quick ones with you, Phil. Of course, we talk about 60 frames, 30 frames. Should Xbox players expect a clear message this summer with Starfield with 30 and 60 frames? That's a big lesson learned, as you brought up. Should we expect that answer? It's clear as day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great one. Another one, you see a lot of conversation, of course. I want to praise you and the team for really elevating the PC side of this Xbox ecosystem. I think we've seen a lot of great strides in that. But when you see the community talk about the console side of things, do you think you've lost the focus or maybe put too much onto the PC?
When I started watching Snowbike Mike, he was like a guest. Okay, sorry, that frame is not flattering. Mike looked hammed. When I started watching him, he was like a guest host one day and kind of funny with somebody else. And I was just like, all right, I like this guy's voice. I like his energy. I'll follow him on Twitch. And he had like 30 viewers. And now when I watch him, he's got like 200 to 400 viewers. Now he's got a fucking show on Kind of Funny and he's interviewing Phil Spencer. Bro, shout out to my boy. That's so sick.
About the console side of things, do you think you've lost the focus or maybe put too
incredible,
much
right?
on the PC
and he deserves
side?
it, man.
Do you
He's
think
such a
that
sweetheart.
The console is still getting the console love
He's
that
the
it
man.
deserves, whether it be the homepage update, achievements, of course, looking forward and using the power of this next gen. Do you think you guys have lost that focus, or is it still
Mike
there?
follows me on
Can we
Twitter. I
see
made it.
more love on that side.
He also always shows mad love
continue
too.
To focus on making our console experience as great as it can be. I like the homepage refresh.
But also, he didn't have eggs for the first time till like last year. So fuck him.
And some stuff. I will say this might be disruptive
Weirdo.
as well. We have a different vision. Paris talked about this. It's play the games you want with the people you want anywhere you want. We want Xbox
he's
to be
like
something.
He's like the most random person. Like since working full time, Kind of Funny. It's like he never had eggs. He's never seen Die Hard. There's like all these random things that just like it's hard to believe a human has lived like almost 30 years without all that. It reminds me I need to go get my eggs from the hens today. I haven't done it yet. Farm fresh butt nuggets. Butt nuggets. Okay.
We have a different vision. Paris talked about this. It's play the games you want with the people you want anywhere you want. We want Xbox to be something that people who buy our console can feel like they're a member of. Obviously, who are playing on PC, who are playing on cloud, that they feel like they're full members of our ecosystem. Game Pass players can play on many different devices, and we remain fully committed to that.
What's up, Brasky?
We're not in the business of out consoling Sony or out consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us.
Sam,
and
sounds to me like you lost a friend.
Upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter is that when you're third place in the console marketplace and the top two players are as strong as they are and have in certain cases very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform. But we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games. So when you go and you're building on Xbox, we want our Xbox community to feel awesome. But this idea that if we just focused more on great games on our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race, I think doesn't really lay into the reality of most people. Like 90% of the people every year who walk into a retailer to buy a console are already a member of one of the three ecosystems, and their digital library is there. This is the first generation where the big games that they're playing were games that were available last gen. When you think about Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft, like the continuity from generation to generation is so strong. I see a lot of pundits out there that kind of want to go back to the time where we all had cartridges and discs and every new generation was a clean slate and you could switch the whole console share. That's just not the world that we are in today. There is no world where Starfield's an 11 out of 10 and people start selling their PS5s. That's not going to happen. So what we have to do, and we have this unique vision because we see...
Dude, it's so wild. He ain't wrong, but it's wild that he's saying it. You know what I mean?
Creators want to do. Creators want to build games that can meet players on
just
any
crazy
screen.
hearing Phil.
Play with their friends.
I sold my PS5 for Redfall. And how are you happy with your decision?
Listen, what other screen they're on, and the console is the core of the Xbox brand. There's no doubt. So like we will stay focused on making sure that console experience is awesome. But I know some people want to hold us up of just being a better green version of what the blue guys do. And I'm just going to say, like, there's not a win for Xbox in staying in the wake of somebody else. We have to go off and do our own thing with Game Pass, with the stuff we do with xCloud, and the way we build our games. Sorry, I was a little long-winded.
No, that was perfect. And unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you, Phil. I know that we have a hard out here, but I want to end it with something positive, Phil, because I've gotten cranky, Phil, this whole episode, and I freaking love you, and I appreciate you being on and being hard with us, but I do need something positive out of you, Phil. So before you leave, tell me and the Xbox community something positive that you're looking forward to, that you're playing, anything fun to bring a smile to your face.
Dude, I'm an optimist. Like, you know, I will always see, I'll use this for you, the gap between the trees. I'll always see the fresh pow. Like, this is why I'm here. I love the games that are ahead of us. I'm having a great time playing the games that are available in Game Pass today. I look in Ravenlock coming, Benedict's here. Like, I just love playing video games. One of the things I am excited about is the ROG Ally, something I've got my hands on if people have had a chance to play with that. And I just love the fact that here's another device that people are going to get to go experience great games on, whether it's your Steam Deck or that or your Xbox. You know, I see the growth in video games. I get to spend time with creators who are excited about the opportunity that they have. I get to go play some amazing games, some of those in Game Pass, some of those not. And I just think the gaming space has never been more diversely creative than it is right now, and it's a privilege to be a part of it.
I love hearing that. Paris, end us with this episode.
That was the most PR answer so far.
Yeah, just a quick statement as we get out of here. First
The
and
fact that he
foremost,
called it
Phil, thank you
ROG
for
and not
doing this.
ROG
This
kind of
is
tilts
clearly
me.
not
Of course
the
it does, Sam.
conversation we thought we were going to have when we scheduled this, but we do appreciate your candor and just
The
being
new Republic of
100%
Gamers
honest about
ally,
the current state of what's going on with Xbox.
Red
I am
Eternal,
hopeful in the future we
steal their lunch money because they're flipping nerds. What's up, Kai? How you
have
doing,
more
buddy?
conversations about what ID at Xbox is doing in their initiatives, Game Camp New Orleans, things like that are more positive and enabling more creators, because that's what I really wanted to talk about in this episode. But as we go into June, I am looking forward to the showcase. I am looking forward to the reveals that are coming. And, you know, I still think the future is bright for Xbox and Xbox Game Studios and what you'll have to present. This is a bump in the road, but I still think the future is going to be bright. So again, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks, Paris.
All right. Well, on behalf of my two gaming dads, thank you, Phil Spencer, for joining us on this week's
this
Kinda Funny
interview, Kai.
XCast. Of course, thank you all for tuning
It was
in
a really
and
good
hanging
interview.
out with us. We will see you next week, and Team Xbox will see you in June for the big Xbox Game Showcase and, of course, that deep dive into Starfield. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch you back next week.
All right. Well, that was a really good interview. Here, I'll put the link in chat, Kai, if you want it. I've always gotten a good impression from Phil. I've always really liked Phil. He always comes off as a good dude. I'm sure that behind closed doors, he's the lead of Xbox, so I'm sure that it's like, get this thing fucking finished or you're fired type moments. I'm sure they're bound to happen here and there. But he always seems like a really cool guy when he does interviews and podcasts and stuff like that. I like him. The part that we see, again, it could all be bullshit, but the part that we see, he seems honest and down to earth and just like one of us, basically. Dudes were hounding Mike when the beginning said our acquisition, but like they're an Xbox-centered podcast and they're fans. It's the same shit as when I say we're playing Star Wars. Like, yeah, I'm playing it and you're watching it. It's just how we say shit. He isn't afraid to say he likes something of his competitor. That's one thing that I like, that he's actually a gamer. Same. I remember the same thing with Mike Ibarra. And like, I know that he was a gamer because he literally joined me once to play fucking Hawken, which was like Titanfall. He literally joined. Let me put some music while we're blabbing. He literally joined me to Achievement Hunt. So you get it? Yeah. It's just I feel like when people say like, yeah, our industry or whatever, people will literally say our industry when they have a podcast that's like got 3 episodes and 4 viewers. It doesn't. It's like. I don't think you need to explain that when you say like our. It's like our community thing. He's definitely a businessman, and at the day, but out of the big 3, he seems the most chill. What I do like is, at least the heads, like, obviously everyone has this fucking console war stupid shit, which I've always hated, and I still do. But I like that the heads give each other I mean, Jim Ryan's a little bitch, but like, remember, what was it, Sean Layden, or whatever? There was that E3 where it was like, was it like Reggie and Sean Layden and Phil came out together and stuff, and then yeah, you'll see them give each other props for like game releases and congrats on the Switch, congrats on Zelda, congrats on God of War and shit like that. I wish there was more of that, right? I wish that the fans weren't so brain dead with their fucking brand loyalty. I have an Xbox, and so that's my entire personality, and so fuck you for playing God of War. The game is mid. Big respect for him to recognizing where Xbox is. Bro straight up said we can't compete with Nintendo and Sony, and I was like, damn. Dude, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I feel like that was as honest as you can be for a guy in his shoes. Because at the end of the day, you do have to, PR it and stuff. But I think that was like, yeah, as like brutally honest as you can be in that situation. So again, I have tons of respect for Phil. And obviously, like and subscribe and all that to Kinda Funny Rule. They're like pretty much the only podcast that I listen to regularly anymore, just because of time. Or like Deadfall because it's DOA. Quote of the day. I think that at least a lot of questions on Microsoft's future. Yeah, for sure. Kind of goated Greg Miller, dude. I'm saying. Also, for those of you watching on my channel, like, comment, and subscribe if you like this type of content. I'll end the YouTube recording here. But thank you for watching. If you're still here, let me know if you want to see more content like this. Usually I focus just on music and a couple of movie scenes. and I know that I haven't uploaded as much as I want to Shizzy Reacts because of time, and then I finally do record something and it gets blocked and whatever. So I need to upload Shizzy Reacts more, but part of me is also just like, it's so fucking annoying to spend my one night recording just for all the videos to get axed. So I'm like, maybe that night that was originally planned to make YouTube shorts and TikToks, I'll do that and axe this channel. I don't know. But thanks for watching. Leave suggestions or comments if you like this longer form stuff and you want to see more. Peace.